All righty.
And then I'll mute myself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kathy Jaskolski, and this is the August new moon contemplation, and I'm doing it right here in my backyard, which is really nice. The new moon is a time in the cycle of the moon when it's really potent to reflect on if you made a intention at the new moon in July and how that unfolded for you throughout the month. What kinds of gifts came and what kinds of challenges were there. And then holding that awareness, we move into a contemplation tonight that's going to allow us to notice what's bubbling up as far as what intention might we want to set for the August new moon. And that's the Leo new moon. And it's particularly close to my heart because my birthday was just last weekend, and not this past, but the weekend before. And so I'm a Leo. So this is really my season. We'll start with a coning. And the coning is a ritual that calls in nature and the qualities of nature that are both healing and also balancing. As I do this, you may want to close your eyes and notice as I'm calling in each deva and guardian. And you don't have to know what that means, but see if you can feel into, get a feeling sense of what that's like. So it feels particularly exciting and full to be outdoors. And so I'd like to open a coning. And I'm calling in the overlighting deva of the new moon. The deva of contemplation. Pan, the head of the nature spirits. The appropriate members of the Brotherhood of the Light. The guardians of contemplation. And I'm going to call in my higher self. And I would like to call in the higher selves of each of you who are attending. So I'm going to name Debbie because she's here with me live right now. And many of you may be listening to the recording, so I'm calling each of you in as well. I ask that we be balanced and stabilized in all systems, components, and levels of our being while we're in this coning. And it's really beautiful. I'm hearing my chimes. The wind is blowing just enough that my chimes went off just as that was completed, which is really sweet. I wanted to share with you, so many astrologists are really speaking to the last half of 2020 being a time that's really potent and rich as far as new beginnings. And it's also a place where we're going to be letting go. I'm going to go to the waiting room here just for a second and let these people in. Hi, Pam, and hi, Sheila. We've already started. And so I'll just let you, Pam, I'll just let you, Sheila, I'm going to mute you. I'll just let you join in. So I was speaking to the fact that many astrologists and experts are saying that somebody's not muted here. I'm going to try muting you, Sheila. There we go. We're set now. Okay, are saying that this is the last part of 2020 is going to be a really potent time for new beginnings and change. And it's also going to be a really challenging time because we'll be letting go of some patterns that we're really kind of fond of. And so I wanted to offer what Chani Nicholas, and she's one of my favorite astrologers, it's Chani, Nicholas, has to say about the Leo new moon. And that'll kind of take us into the contemplation. Leo rules the heart. Inside of us beats the heart of the leader that we need now. In each of us, there is a capacity to find our way forward together. In each of us, there is a need to shine. And nothing shines as bright as a person with a purpose. So I invite you in this contemplation, we're going to have 4 parts. The first part will be, I'll ask the question, and I invite you to allow your mind to just do its thing. And the mind is used to taking control, so it'll be really good at this. It may go into a whole series of ideas and thoughts and questions. It may dart to your shopping list. It may do whatever, and that's okay. Go ahead and let it go and continue to stay with the mind, and I'll keep repeating the question. After a bit, I'll invite you to move to your heart. Some of you may find that the mind's not done yet. And so even though the invitation's to go to the heart, if the mind's still chattering, you may have to stay with the mind. And what I know from the many, many times that I've done contemplation is that where you're called to stay is where the fertile soil of the question is for you. So if you stay with the mind when it's asking you to, it's perfect. When we go to the heart, it's a little subtler. So you may feel like you're stretching just beyond what you know. It may be more of a subtle intuitive instinct, or it may be that something around you or the sounds that you're experiencing around me affect you, or you may experience a light or a color or whatever. So just be open to whatever it is and do not think you have to know the meaning. The third piece is we'll move to the heart within the heart. And so that's the deeper space, the part of us that is always illuminated and always filled with light and always wanting to shine. And that's even subtler. So again, limit your expectations and just be present with whatever emerges. The fourth component will be that we will actually journal. So if you don't have a journal close by, you might want to grab one real quick, just something to write on and a pen, and then you can later transcribe it in your journal if it's not close. Some of you may find that you're really like mesmerized by the heart within the heart space or still with the mind, and stay there. You don't have to go to the fourth piece. Alrighty, so let's start with the mind. Remember that we're talking about in each of us there is a need to shine. It's our birthright to be luminous, and nothing shines as bright as a person with a purpose. So the question that we'll start with, and your question may evolve, it may shift for you, and please let it do that. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm repeating. How am I being called to shine? See if you can allow the mind to just take the lead here and go wherever she wants as you ponder, how am I being called to shine? Trying not to put any limitations about what you think shining is. For some people, it may be moving out in the world and doing something. For others, it might be that you're called to shine by meditating, or called to shine by gardening, or called to shine baking. So, again, try not to put any limitations here. Note too that the question or inquiry might take you to a place that's filled with shadows, not necessarily where you wanted to be. And watch that temptation to run away from the shadow or push yourself out of the darkness, and see if you can stay with whatever comes up as you hold the inquiry. How am I being called to shine? And where can I do that best? Allow yourself to soften around the question. It can even morph into a question that's slightly different for you. In this beautiful Leo new moon, how am I being called to shine? And can I begin to feel into where I might be doing that? I'm just wanting to name what's happening for you, for me, because it may mirror something similar, or at least give you permission to be present with whatever's happening for you. I'm kind of feeling like there's this urge within me to shine, but there is this black cotton cloak over me, over the light of me. And so I'm just staying with that. That feels more intuitive to me than in my mind. So I'm going to take the lead here. And if you're ready, if your mind will allow it, see if you can begin to move into the heart. The heart and is the space of images and emotion. And begin to ask the heart in this Leo new moon, how am I being called to be luminous in the world? What does that look like? taste like, feel like. As you move into the subtler sense of the heart, you may get more of an intuitive sense or a, again, subtle sense. It might not be in words or images. So just see if you can stay with whatever comes up as you contemplate in this vibrant Leo new moon. How am I being called to shine? You might be hearing a little bit of work going on in my neighbor's home, and just allow that to be a part of your contemplation and notice what comes up around that if you're noticing it. If you're not, just stay with your heart. I choose to believe in a contemplation. Absolutely nothing is an accident that happens, as I'm holding space in my heart for the Leo new moon that's asking me to shine. And breathing into and feeling into how am I meant to shine? Where am I being called to do that? Can I begin to feel into or see with my inner ears, or see with my inner eyes, or hear with my inner ears? As my heart lights up and I shine, how is it affecting the world around me? And now I invite you to go a little deeper. And we're moving to what some contemplations call the heart within the heart, or that space beyond emotion, that's deeper. And it's so deep that for some, as they go there, it doesn't feel deep within. It starts to then move out and around, into the world around you. So move to the heart within the heart, however your experience sees and wants to do that at this moment, and place the question there. In this Leo new moon, how am I being invited to shine? What part of myself have I maybe hidden, doubted, questioned, that's being called forth? You may actually find that the heart within the heart is luminous, it is light. You may just find yourself being light. What does it mean for me to be light? Can I breathe into and stretch my awareness to a place where I recognize myself as a radiant being of light? How am I being called to shine? Some of you may feel, I feel very light, not at all like I want to talk. I really want to stay in this light filled, expansive space. And some of you may feel that way. And others of you may want to take your paper and pencil and use your writing as a deeper expression of that inquiry. The purpose of a contemplation is not always to have an answer, but to very possibly land on the question that helps you to experience more light. How am I being called to be light in the world? In this breath, without effort, can I just be light? And from this place, again, it's your birthright to be luminous, to be radiant. You were called here for that purpose. And each one of us will shine in a unique and different way. Is there a seed or an intention that you would like to plant in this fertile new moon energy? And don't, I'm not going to say don't. I'm holding the space to not move into my mind, which is a pattern that I love. It's familiar to me. I'm just sitting here and waiting in that luminous space to see if an intention for the new moon makes itself evident for me. And as you're ready, begin to conclude your journaling. And again, if an intention comes up, you might want to write that down. And I would like to take an opportunity to close the coning. For me, it's a really expansive space. And like I say, I feel kind of not lightheaded, but just shy of that. So as I close the coning, and for those of you who came on a little later, you didn't hear me open it, but you were a part of it. So I'll close it now, and then I will turn the recording off. And those of you who are live with me, I'd love to stay and hear what transpired for you in the contemplation. So to close the coning, I'd like to thank my higher self and the higher self of each person that's participating either live right now or is participating later through the recording. And I'd like to thank and release the appropriate members of the Brotherhood of the Light. I'd like to thank and release Pam, the head of the Nature Spirits. I'd like to release the guardians of contemplation. I forgot them and I can kind of hear them going, whoa, you've got us. I'd like to release the devas of contemplation. And I'd like to thank and release the overlighting deva of the Leo new moon. I'd ask that each of us be balanced and stabilized on all systems, levels, and components of our being. I'd like to leave you with a quote from the Radiance Sutras that I felt really resonated with this particular new moon. Wherever, whenever you feel carried away, rejoicing in every breath, there is your meditation hall. Cherish these times of absorption, rocking the baby in the silence of the night, pouring water into a beautiful crystal glass, tending the logs in a crackling fire, sharing a meal with a circle of friends. And as I was reading this, a hummingbird just chirped and went by, so we'll put that in there too. Embrace these pleasures and know this is my true body. Nowhere is more holy than this, right here in this sacred pilgrimage. Live in alertness for such a moment, my beloved, as if it were your one meeting with Creator, Source, Light Energy. As it was intended, so it shall be. Om Shanti. Namaste. I'm going to turn the recording off. And again, I'd